intro. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to AFRO-NEST. I'm your host, Salim.
I am Fabrice Wise.
And I am Latifah.
Thank you for joining us. In our topic of discussion today, we are going to be diving deep into Rwanda, the smallest country in Africa.
But yes, sir.
Is it?
That's what people say, but I don't know.
There's this little island that I remember, but Rwanda it's the landlocked so far.
Interesting.
Small landlocked in Africa, as far as I know.
I get to learn something new today.
Yeah.
Right, but because of the geographical location, people normally assume it's the smallest country, even
Yes.
population-wise. So that's why people call it the smallest country. But regardless, it might not be the smallest. So we're going to be talking about it. So Latifah here just came back from Rwanda. She's going to be telling us everything about her trip.
I want to go back already.
Oh yeah, I bet. I was like, when you're over there, I was like, oh man, how I wish I traveled. But with COVID scaring everybody, I didn't want to go anywhere, risk anything.
I mean, if you really have a reason, to make you travel around this time of the pandemic, you should. But if you don't really have to, you don't have to, because it is terrible. Like, not even just where you're going, but the whole journey. Like, starting from the start with the COVID testing, the results, because they give you a specific amount of hours you're not supposed to go under, and the ones you're not supposed to go below.
Okay.
So, like, if I remember well, my test had to be between 48 hours and 72 hours. So it couldn't go above 72 hours.
Because I understand it's the same situation that's happening right now in Zambia. Like, before you cross into the country, you have to get your test 72 hours prior. And the certificate that they give you has to be within those hours.
Yes.
Oh, that's interesting.
So I was actually stuck in Washington for about 3 days, because when I flew from Michigan and went to Washington, then my test, the hours went above 48 hours, actually 72 hours.
72 hours.
So they're like, no, we cannot let you go anywhere. So like, you have to get retested. And guess what? I had nothing to do.
You had to do it because your plans already to go to Rwanda, so you can't let the test just prevent you from going where you want to go.
For a second though, I thought about just canceling everything, because I had time living in Detroit, because the test results were not out yet. So by the time they came out, then, because there was a weekend period between the time I tested and the time I was supposed to get the results. So since the hospital was closed during the weekend, then the nurses come back Monday, and then they, have to do their things. And by the time I got the results on Tuesday, then time is going.
Right. So is this required by by Rwandan side, or is it required by the United States? Was it required by the United States side or the Rwandan side?
The Rwandan side.
So you have to do it here.
Yeah, but you know how they check the documents before you leave.
Right.
So it's like they check the passport, then the hotel reservation, and then also the COVID test.
Man, that's crazy. It's like you have to apply for a visa.
Yeah, sounds like that.
Before you even go there now. So now, let's say for people that, I don't know if you need the visa to go to Rwanda.
Personally, I don't. One side I could say I do, then the other side I don't, because I hold a Rwandan national ID.
Okay.
So I use my US passport, but with the national ID of Rwanda. So then if you have the ID, you don't have to buy a visa, because you hold how do you say, like,
dual citizenship?
Yes, you do. So
sweet. Oh, so you don't have to buy visa. That's nice.
Yeah.
But now, in other words, you have to buy visa because of the COVID.
The COVID, yeah, that whole situation was no good.
All right.
My question on that. Sorry for cutting.
Go ahead.
A question on that. Who had to support your staying in Washington D.C.?
Myself.
Oh my God.
Yes, like literally, they tell you, you only have two options: either to cancel your trip or to go get tested and then come back. So I'm thinking, how am I going to go back to Michigan and then get tested? And then they're like, oh no, you can get tested here. So they gave me an address where I could go and get tested and then get my results. I went, booked a hotel. Like, I just had to do it to make my trip happen. Yeah.
So let's say past the COVID situation, once you're already in on the other side of Rwanda, what is it like? What's Rwanda like? Just tell the people what Rwanda is like, because people like me have not been to Rwanda since, I don't know, 94.
Oh, you need to go. You really need to go, because that place is a very beautiful place. Like once the plane just lands, it just feels different. Like,
Just like every time you land in Africa, like, I'm home.
Yes, that's the feeling you get. Like, oh my goodness, I'm home. And you know, it's a long journey, so you feel very happy once you get there. And then, of course, once you get there, they're gonna check all those documents. If
it's still valid.
yeah, still valid. Then if you have to buy the visa, you buy the visa. By the time I got there, they used to just check, you know, the visa, then the hotel reservation, then what else? The COVID testing. But guess what? You don't only get tested here. You have to get tested when you get there too. Yes.
Crazy.
So when I got there, I didn't have to get tested at the airport because they were having people test once they get to the hotel. But I hear that it's changed now. They test you as soon as you get to the airport. Then go to the hotel for 24 hours and wait for your results.
24 hours. It's like in UK now, they quarantine you for 14 days in a hotel when you get there.
Yes.
So that's crazy, because some people were telling me that it's kind of the way how countries are making money right now through that test. How much did you have to pay?
I want to say $60.
That's crazy, because if you think about it, you also here it was free though, right? Like
yes, it was free in Michigan, but guess what? When I was in Washington, it was not free.
How much you had to pay?
I had oh my goodness, I don't want to even think about it, because that's when you know the month about the trip. You know, when you make your own budget and then something happens,
something
and then
pops up.
yes, then you have to spend. So I had to pay $150.
What?
Yes.
I cannot believe, because I read an article of how this is supposed to be free. The COVID vaccine is supposed to be free.
Not vaccine testing, you mean?
Even the vaccine, I believe, it should be free.
Yeah, it should be free as well. But as well as the testing should be free. But I read an article of how some, like in Florida, they were going to court because they were charging people $150 exactly for the COVID test that is supposed to be free. While here in Michigan and in other states, you're administering them for free.
Yes.
And this is federal mandated, which doesn't have to be, like people don't have to pay for it. So that's crazy that you say.
Yeah.
Actually, speaking of that, when I did mine, when I took my first test, here in Grand Rapids, they charged me, I thought it was free. Then I received,
What did you
I love that.
for real, I received, not right now though, before.
A while ago?
Yeah, about 3 months ago or so. They sent me a bill of 200 and something bucks.
What?
No.
Yeah. I swear.
Did you pay it?
Hell no.
Oh.
Okay, this is the thing.
How
This
do
is the
you-
thing. I'm willing to pay it if I know for a fact I should have paid for that thing. I thought it was supposed to be free at first, and getting charged, especially 200 and something. That's a brand new Jordan. What you talking about?
Yeah, because when I read the article, we're actually giving testings at the drive-thrus. We're setting up stations in different places in Michigan just to test people. So it's crazy you say that. Yeah. So besides the corona situation, what else do you think people might want to know about Rwanda?
The beautiful side.
Oh my
Right.
goodness, very beautiful country. Like anybody who loves nature, that's the place to visit. Like literally, the lakes, the forest, everything. For the I don't know how many trips I've made in the last 3 years, probably like about 3 trips or
Yeah,
4
go
trips.
visit Rwanda.
Yeah, they're all in
You
Rwanda.
love the place.
Yes, like one of the most memorable trips I made, and I feel like I could do it over and over again, is going to Nyungwe Forest.
Nyungwe Forest.
Yes, for the canopy walk.
Oh,
yes.
I've seen that.
The best. Like literally, I am a very scared person. Part of me wanted it so bad, then part of me was
They
scared.
didn't want to do
Yes, because I was like, how am I gonna walk on that bridge? So I went with my friend who was not scared at all. You know, she's all the way the other side. I'm still behind. I'm like, did she really go there? Like, am I going? But once you just walk on it, you feel like this is life. But when you look down, you feel like, okay, you know, when you look and you don't see even the ground, you're only seeing the trees. So you're like, if I fall, I don't even know where I'm falling.
Say your prayers before you land.
Yes, that was very fun.
Wow,
you know,
but
nice.
those are one of the ways to conquer your fear, like, you know, especially if you fear heights.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's nice.
Actually, yeah, go ahead.
Nyungwe forest.
Yes.
Nice.
Actually, with the amount of time you've been in an airplane, I don't even think you should have been speaking of fearing height no more.
No, the thing is, if I'm on the plane, you know, I'm not seeing anything.
Exactly.
I'm only trusting the pilot that he knows where he's taking me. But it's different because when you are on that bridge you look down and then you're like, no.
And then of course, when you're in the plane, you're not scared because you have people next to you. It's like if you die, you're gonna die alone. So
and another thing,
yeah,
there's some things you just don't think about. Like, but on that walk, like literally, you just even imagine, what if this breaks? Like, we're just going to fall, all of us.
But you know that there's chances you will survive from it.
I don't know.
Just think of any movie that you watched before that the bridge cut off and...
Oh, no. Because when those scenes pop up on the movie, I always close my eyes. I don't want to see.
So do they give you like, what you call, harness to hold yourself on, or you just walk?
No.
You walk. But you have like guards who are guiding you where you're going and all that. So it's a pretty good experience.
I always tell myself that if I go to such places, I'm just going to run and see how it happens. But
you could.
I just run. Yeah, just make sure I don't fall.
Yeah, and then they tell you like before you get to the bridge itself, then you walk through the forest, and it's a very big forest. So like they tell you all these type of animals that are in there, and I'm a very scared person.
What type?
They'll tell you they can't even tell you there's a snake, but you may not see it, but it's there. So like when you're walking, you feel like, okay, is it behind me? There's a lot of things in there.
What forest is that? Because that's part of the forest what forest is that? They call it what do you call that forest? No, I mean just the forest in that region, which also covered the Congo area, that huge area.
Yeah. I see what you're talking about. I think that's Nyungwe, because Nyungwe cover Congo.
So that's interesting. What about like money-wise? Let's say somebody who left, let's say the U.S. with $100. What can I get with $100 in Rwanda?
Okay, are we talking about $100 in general, or $100 on one day?
In general, because some people,
your own budget is $100 for your
No.
trip. Okay, that's what I wanted to make sure about.
No, like let's say, not my budget is $100, but I have $100 to spend that day. What can I do with $100?
Yeah,
a lot, like literally a lot.
Yeah.
If maybe it's just you or you and another person, because most of the time nobody wants to take a trip by themselves, or you know somebody there who will be with you. $100 is a lot. Like you go to a restaurant, you eat nice food at a nice.
Food is inexpensive over there.
Yeah, the food is not that expensive. If you compare it to the life here in the US, of course, it's not gonna be expensive. But if you're comparing to the people who live there, then they're going to feel like it is expensive.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, but $100 will do a lot. Like literally, depending also where you are. If you're in Kigali, if you're in Gisenyi, Changugu, all those areas, because I believe each area also
it's
depending
different.
on the tourist attractions that they have there, then it's going to be.
But I hear that Kigali is the most expensive part, but of course because it's the capital.
It's the capital, yeah. So it has to be.
So
expensive.
you are saying that with $100 you probably won't do as much, and compared to other cities as you would in Rwanda.
Yes, I believe you can still.
Kigali,
you could still do a lot in Kigali, but of course in other parts you're going to because some parts, like, let me say, I'm looking for a way to phrase this the best way. In Kigali you may find there's so many things that you have to pay for.
Right.
That, like, let's say parking. Like when I left, I don't think the parking situation was like when I came to live in the US. That was 10 years ago. I don't think the parking situation was as difficult as it is right now. I call it difficult because everywhere you park you have to pay. Like it's become like somehow the life here in the US. You know when you go downtown and you look, you're looking for where to park, and then those meters you have to pay. It's literally the same thing.
Go with downtown with change.
Yes. So yeah, but it's good.
But that's kind of a good development because some of that, like paid parking, they use some of that money to maintain the roads.
Right.
Of which, if you're paying for parking, the roads, you cannot pay for parking in a place where the roads are bad. So if you pay for parking, that means that the roads are good and right.
Oh yes, they do. Yes, they have good roads, and they're built. Constructing. They're constructing new roads every single day. Like literally, each time I go, I see a road I've never passed through. I'm like, oh, this is interesting. This is here. Like literally, last year I was in Rwanda 2019, spent New Year's, came back 2020, and then went December 2020. Just that was like only 10 months, 11 months. There's this road. Actually, I went back November, so that was 10 months. There's this road that. It's kind of like a shortcut going to my mom's house. I was like, this was not here when I left.
Where did it come from?
Yeah, I literally asked that question. I'm like, where did it come from? And it was somehow good because it kind of makes you not go through the traffic because we're closer to the airport. So then there's always traffic around coming from town.
Yes.
When you get to Remera, then there's one going, there's a street going to the airport, another one going to the, how do you call it, the taxi park. Yes. So, and then another one that goes to my house. So that's Kabeza, Remera, and then Kanombe. Yeah. So there's always traffic in that area.
I like how you know all the streets.
I gotta know. That's my home. So yeah, so that street kind of helped, pass through, and then they're building a lot of them where it's just connecting the whole city, and it's a wonderful thing because
I think I like that because that's one thing that annoys me when I go to a country like, for instance, Botswana. It's they have roads that are just one way. If you're going to the border, you want to use one street, and then if there's traffic, you're stuck in the middle of the traffic. There's no shortcut. I hate that. So that's good.
One question. Let's go back to $100 because people really Not everybody who goes to trip with big budgets. Especially, I had the chance to talk to this guy who went to South Africa as a volunteer, and this year I don't know if it's going to happen, but this year he was supposed to go to Rwanda. As a volunteer, I don't know to do what exactly, but usually they don't really carry money like that. Their budget are somehow limited. I mean, of course they provide them stuff, but out of a pocket for themselves, usually it's not really that huge. For someone like that trying to spend, let's say for example, he got $500 and he's going to be there for let's say a month. How would you advise people like that to use their money, and what can they get from their money for like 1 month? Not on your perspective, because think about them as if you was a local and you have to live off of 500 because usually their hotels and everything is taken care of. But how can they now live with just 500?
Okay, so the hotel is already paid for, right?
Yeah, paid for everything.
So the 500 is more like the pocket money.
Just his pocket money, to spend.
1 month?
Yeah.
He's gonna do it.
What can he do with
the hotel is paid? Does he have transportation? No?
Usually they organize transportation and where to stay. So the rest might be on them. Like what do you want to do?
Like someone took the $500, saying I'm going to have fun after hours. This $500. What can they do?
Fun. Like there's fun, and then there's the fun of a party person. So which fun are we talking about? Because if it's a party person, then that's maybe kind of difficult. But if it's just fun in general, 500 is gonna
like maybe sightseeing, taking a cruise or a safari, things
like a
that.
bus tour.
Yeah.
Oh yes, they actually I never did the bus tour. I think probably because of COVID they didn't have it going on, but they do have the bus tour. I think it costs like 10K or 20K.
Oh, that's bad.
That's
That's not bad.
Yeah.
how much in dollars?
That's about $22. If it's 20K, it's almost $22. The money is.
So it's 1:1. Like the exchange rate is 1:1. Like let's say 0.9, like $1.
Yeah, because I think
Wow.
when you exchange $100 now, they give you like 94 or 95 of Rwandan money.
That's good.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that means the currency has gone up there. I mean, it's so
Yeah, because I think the currency that is being equal is the European euro.
Yeah, euro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you have 100 euros, it's 100 Rwandan francs.
Whoa,
Yes.
that's good.
I don't do good with cash. So even my last trip there,
Mm-hmm.
I could count the few days that I used cash. I always had my card. So the US debit card, you can
Yeah.
use it anywhere
Yes.
as long as they take cards there.
Yeah, but they charge you that how much? I don't know. International fees.
I felt like it wasn't really that much because, for example, if I went to an ATM, right, that $100, they would give like maybe let's say I got 100 Rwandan francs.
Mhm.
They would charge me like $110 US. 500 is a lot to somebody who, not a lot, but it's enough for somebody whose hotel has been paid for, whose transportation has been paid for. So then I imagine the only thing is like you're worrying about is food and then tourist attractions that you want go and see. Yeah, so which most places, to be honest, it's not very expensive to go to. Most of the places
Right.
you find like the entrance fee is like $10 US. Yeah, $10 US. Yeah,
mostly like
like
Kenya.
yeah, $15. So I don't think I ever went anywhere where they charged me for like amount that was above $30 to get it. But here in the US it happens.
So would you say, because for me in Kenya, I don't know if it's the same in Rwanda, when I go to Kenya and then I showed them my passport, they charged the tourist attraction fees are higher compared to residents.
Oh no, that's everywhere though. That's I feel like every country does that because if you are like, I feel like personally though it should be like that because they can't be charging their own citizens the same amount as
Yes.
the people. So
That's true.
yeah, like going to Nyungwe, like I believe when we went there, we went with this travel agency. So they charged that 35K of Rwanda, which is about almost close to $36 US. Then to somebody who is not a Rwandan citizen, they had to pay $100.
But the way I see it is like I consider myself, because I'm an African, just the paper identifies me as someone from outside. But I feel hurt that I have to pay.
I don't feel that way.
Those fees, because I'm using a document from outside.
I feel like you should pay them.
Like in Kenya, when I went there, they were charging $35 for US citizens, right? And then for Kenyans it was like $15. And then I started speaking Swahili. I started speaking Swahili, but my passport said something else, I was like, come on, mimi mtu hapa.
Niko brother yen.
That was a
but it
good
didn't
one.
work. I had to pay the $35, man. So yeah, that's interesting. Another thing I would say, what would you tell people? Like for instance, my only fear of going to Rwanda is I haven't been there in a very long time, and I feel like I do not know anybody in Rwanda. So that's one of the reasons why I kind of hold back to traveling there, because I don't know anybody. So what would you tell people that feel the same way that I do, but want to go and visit and have a good time there?
Okay. With the world we live in right now, 2021, of course, I don't think you even need to know anybody to go anywhere.
Yeah.
Let's think about it. Let's think about the time we came to the US. We all didn't know nobody.
True.
But we somehow made it through. So, and then the internet has made life so easy,
So easy, right?
that now if you're going somewhere, you can actually do some research. Like, You know, because we all have different things we like. We don't have the same like tests, you know. So you could do research on the internet, then you know, okay, oh, this is interesting, I'll go there, you know. And then with the travel agencies that they have there now, it has made it so easy. The couple of them, they will go to different places, you know. So that's one good thing, that you don't even have to worry who will take me there, because these agencies are there to help people. Then you meet other people that, you know, you're traveling together. Yeah, then they also, it's their first time maybe in the country, and you having the same, you know, experience.
Right, that makes sense. But for me, I feel like I would have the most fun if I'm with people that I'm used to, people that I know. You know, that's how I feel like. I feel like I won't be myself with people that strangers, random strangers. You know, like the agencies, I know, I understand.
Yeah.
Yes, but I feel like if I went with like you guys, I would have the best time of my life. But if I just took myself there and then relied on agencies to like plan my fun, I feel like I wouldn't have that much fun.
Let me ask you this question. Let's say, for example, you got a trip to Dubai as you are right now. You can go by yourself.
Dubai.
I'll go shoot.
Okay. That's the whole point. That's the whole point. You know, in some way, I feel exactly how Latifah said. You don't have to know anybody. At least for my case, I've never been a stranger anywhere I go. So it's just like, I feel like I can slide anywhere. I'm like water. Anywhere, any shape you put it, I will check that shape right on the spot. So I believe if you take it that way, you should be able to, especially in places like anywhere in Africa. I believe Africa is all the same, even though we have our differences. Really, as long as you understand, you speak the language, you should be able to slide in just fine.
Just meet different people. Yeah, but yeah, that's interesting.
Which he does speak in Rwanda.
Exactly.
So
That will be easy for you.
But yeah,
You'll be home.
I really plan on going to visit. I don't know when, but sometime soon.
Please go.
I will.
Let's go to June. In June.
Both of you go.
Yeah.
Sure, I have other plans.
July.
I have other plans in July, but I mean
Of
June,
course,
July.
when somebody says
be somewhere
June,
else.
when somebody says June, you already know that you can't do anything in May and July.
They're all cousins, huh?
Yes.
And also because when you travel, like you usually plan for 2 months. You can
Yeah,
go
Right.
1
yeah,
month, you know.
yeah.
So yeah, and you're planning, like you said, May. You're planning to go to this place.
So you can go
June,
anywhere.
July, right? So yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Rwanda sounds like a fun place to be, and
Yes.
How would you say about transportation? Because going to places, one of the major thing is how do I get from point A to point B, especially you don't know the place.
Can I tell you something so
Yeah.
interesting? The GPS was there.
Google Maps.
Okay.
But again, Google Maps. If you're using Google Maps, you gotta know where you're going. Like, oh, you mean like searching
You
places?
put the address of where you're going, like how
GPS works here.
GPS works here. Like you home, you're like, take me to Myers. So you could be home, be like, take me to Kigali Convention Center. It would take you and right at the parking lot of Kigali Convention Center.
Speaking of transportation, I'm asking like, for someone going there who don't have a car, who's not gonna use a GPS for anything, how will he go places? Like, say something about it. Like,
I love the motorcycles.
I haven't been on those yet.
They are my favorite, but my mom don't like them. But just because I don't use them a lot, each time I use them, she worries. But I feel like they are safe. You know, because anything on the road gets an accident. Not even on the road, even planes crash.
Anything.
You know, yeah. So she's always scared. Like, no, don't go on there. But first of all, it's the fastest way to get to anywhere you want to go.
Traffic.
Yes. Then it's going to also be. It's cheap. You know, like.
Makes sense.
I've never thought of any place. I can't think of any place that I ever went and I paid more than 3,000 of Rwandan francs. Because it's always like 500, 800, you know.
That's just like in Kenya. They use motorcycles and then they use these bikes like the ones they have in India.
Tuk-tuk.
They call it tuk-tuk.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked those ones.
Yeah,
I didn't go on the actual motorcycle with 2 wheels. I used the tuk-tuks. They were nice.
They are really fun and they make life easy, you know.
They have tuk-tuks in Rwanda too?
I don't think I've seen them. I've just seen the motorcycles, but I think they want to introduce them or something.
I've seen on my trip to Rwanda, I saw, I believe, 2 tuk-tuks, but not for taking people.
Yeah, just
merchandise and stuff like that. And it was like the guy in front and a little bit small housing in the back. That was made in Rwanda, something like that.
Yeah.
So I'm not quite sure if they're the same type of vehicle, but otherwise they kind of serve the same purpose.
Yeah. Personally, I feel like they're really nice, and plus, because even people who have their own cars, you always find them using, like, you can be driving your car, but you don't know where you're going. But these guys who with the motorcycles, they know everywhere.
Everywhere.
So you tell them, like, you literally drive. Like, one time I got lost. I called my brother, like, I don't know where I am. He just told me, no, just get one guy with a motorcycle, tell him you're gonna follow him. He takes you where you're going. Then when you get there, just give him give him like 500 because it won't be far from where you are. So
I did that. GPS, huh?
Yeah, like he had to go and then I had to follow him. That was
nice.
it. Yeah, nice. And then they have the buses. You know, the buses are also.
I'm not a big fan of buses, really.
I know somebody who likes them. A friend of mine, like literally, he tells me each time he goes to Rwanda, he'll rent a car, but then he rarely uses that car because he feels like when he's driving the car, he don't see anything. So he's like, then he's concentrated on driving and all that. So he goes and sits on that bus, and then he just wants to see the whole city, you know?
Wow, that's interesting because I remember when I went to South Africa, when we were young, the taxis they used to be very loud, play loud music.
Yeah.
So every time I go there, I just get in the taxi and ride. Yeah, and then I tell the person I'm driving with to follow the taxi, just so I can listen to the music in the taxi. So that's interesting. You said that.
Yeah, it's nice. It has Wi-Fi too.
The buses?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's good.
Yeah.
Man, I feel like Rwanda is one of the devil. That's why I have to go there.
Exactly.
You should.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You should for sure.
Yeah, even though people always have, they will say things about, places they haven't been to. Oh, don't go to Rwanda, or whatever, this, that.
I feel like it's just not Rwanda itself. It's just anywhere. You know what?
Right.
Yeah, people will tell, oh, no, don't go there. Like, for no reason. You may even find sometimes the person who is telling you to not to go there, they have never been there.
They have...
Yeah, right.
But like, why are you telling me not to go there? Because I remember...
They want, how do you say, living in someone's fear. Like, they want to inflict the fear in you so that you don't do exactly what they wanted to do initially.
Exactly. Because I remember before I went to Dubai, somebody told me, no, don't go there. I'm like, why are you telling me not to go to Dubai? Like, no, they had all these things. There's this. I'm like, okay. I listened because I had to give the person time. But I went to Dubai because that was one of my dream countries to visit. And I'm glad I made the trip.
You never regret. Like each time you plan on something and then you do it, you feel like a different person.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Even though I was planning to go to Congo when, was it 2019? 2019 I was planning to go to Congo, but things didn't go accordingly because I ended up being stuck in Botswana and South Africa. I didn't make it to Congo. When I came back, I was like, oh man, I didn't make it.
All
So
right.
I felt bad. But usually when you make a plan of going to a place and then you actually go there, you feel a certain kind of feeling.
Yes,
like
very true.
Rewarding type of thing.
Rewarding, yes, absolutely.
Very true. Congo is on my list though.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to go there next.
I don't know if this year, I want to go this year or, but definitely this year. I want to go.
I'm going there next month.
Are you or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a plan, man.
For real?
It feels like it's not true, right?
Yeah. Because it's just too soon. Next month is right.
Yeah.
Days fly now,
Yeah, next month.
Well, it looks like you planned it.
Okay. Well, congrats to you, man. Next time we'll be shooting a podcast on you.
I'm telling you, man.
And then you're going to give me all the information I need to know before I actually go.
Bro,
there.
I'm telling you. I think we can do it live as I'm there.
Exactly.
Yeah, we can do it live because
that would be
right
fun.
there You're just you're getting everything fresh. You don't even have to wait. Oh man.
Right.
I guess we shall do Zoom.
Yeah,
COVID,
Zoom.
COVID taught us a lot of things.
I'm telling you.
Some of things that we thought were not possible, we now see
Now
they
it's
are
possible,
possible.
yeah.
So.
Especially always take advantage of stuff like that, Zoom, and being on the other side of the continent. Man, I believe that's something very beneficial because.
Yeah, we can definitely reach so many other people that are not able to be here.
Exactly.
Oh, I wish we did this when I was in Rwanda. Then I would have showed you all the beautiful places, right?
I'm telling you.
You see the problem of procrastination?
Exactly.
Well, we're not talking about let's hit Latifah up. Well, like let's hit Latifah up, talk to her, and maybe she's still in Rwanda. And then, unfortunately, by the time I hit you up, you already.
She just came back.
You know, he always says you can never know where I am. So.
Yeah.
So yeah, it would have been great. But I feel like you do know people, even though you're giving us all the information that we need, but you still do know people in Rwanda that like stars or whatever, people that can give us a little bit information on.
Oh yes.
Because I'm sure people are curious to know how to do it in Rwanda. If you want to be a musician, if you want to do whatever it is that you want to do,
You want to do, yeah.
An entrepreneur,
You know,
have to be a musician.
There's a cousin of mine. She passed away. Yeah. She was one of my favorite people in the world. May she rest in peace. So she used to tell me, you gotta know a person everywhere, in every corner. You gotta know a musician who will be your friend. You gotta know a soccer player. You gotta know a businessman. You gotta know a policeman. So
that's very important.
I actually try to live in that world. So I believe actually in almost every corner I have somebody.
That's very good because you don't know how much I benefit. Like if I need information from a certain area, I already have people in that particular
field,
in that country as well. And then they're able to give you insight before you even go there.
Right.
Like they tell you what you need to know before you actually go there, investment and go there. So
and the beautiful about it is we have the internet. Internet, you can get a lot of information, but you don't get everything.
Yes.
Exactly.
And there are other things they don't put over there.
Over there,
You
yeah.
can only get it from someone straight. Yeah.
That is very true.
Exactly. So that's why I believe it's a very good advice, especially seeing us who are in diaspora. It's a type of mentality we need to grow.
Right.
Know everybody. I mean, don't go and know everybody like everybody, but at least you know in what sense of what I mean.
Like they say, the people that you know will take you further than those you do not know.
True.
Like, it's very important that connection. Like one of my, I would say platoon leaders, he always telling me, get to know people.
Right.
Get to know people. Don't get comfortable being in one area. Like you have to move. Like if you are in this area, move. Go to a different, like let's say in the military, for instance, right? Don't be comfortable with staying with this company.
Right.
Go to a different company and learn and get to meet other people. You know, expand and get to know other people. Don't be comfortable like other people get comfortable. Thank you for telling us about Rwanda. I'm sure many people will be interested to know. And I mean, many people now will have information about Rwanda before they travel there. Now they'll know more about it.
Oh,
so
yes.
yeah, thank you for joining us today. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Latifah.
You're very welcome. I feel like we already actually talked a lot about Rwanda. I feel like we should actually have a day to talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I wasn't ready to cut it off until you said bitches are dying. Like, I was ready to keep talking, but yeah, for another time.